Hello. I am live. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Red Halo, hey. How's everybody doing? Burj Khalifa geographer, haven't seen you in a while. Alan Lachu. Hello in the Quechua language. Magic Luck, Sphinxin, Godzilla, Animation, Karma. You made a survival world? You named it after me? That's very flattering, thank you. Manny, good morning. Thought Patrol. This is a map? Yeah. So, over a couple of streams, I've been drawing the world and flags from memory. And it has not gone well. I did Turkey last night. Flag is easy. But the territory is not great. Doing Yakko's world. This is surprisingly difficult. I would suggest people try this on their own as well. This is really hard. But I actually have a good comic idea, and I was thinking of drawing a comic today. Probably stream for an hour, hour and a half. And I want to go enjoy my Saturday outside because it looks like it's really nice outside. Let's see. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius, 58 later today. It's okay. Jacket weather. Italy looks the most accurate. I think Spain looks the most accurate. Spain and Chile, I think. I don't think the UK is bad, considering how hard the UK is to draw from memory, because it's got all those, you know, little, I guess, peninsulas, a river. I think Poland is good. You can definitely tell I've looked at more maps of Europe than Asia, because I'm able to put a lot more detail into European countries and borders than Asian. Sri Lanka's too big here. Let's see. New Zealand, I got wrong. South Africa and DR, I got wrong. DRC. Chile, I think it's fine. Ecuador, I got the shape, I think, somewhat right, and the flag is close. Mexico, I think I did okay. Jamaican flag, I ruined. Canada, I think it's okay, given how much coastline Canada has. Got Hudson Bay here. Greenland, I think I did alright as well. So, this is where we stand now. It'd be easier to do Mars. Alright, so I want to make a Lord of the Rings comic. So, hold on, let me find the scene. I don't think I can play it on stream. Okay, so I need to do a background. I have to do 2 characters. One of them is going to be Ukraine. You're going to English school today and you're tired? Yeah. Last night was like the first good night of sleep I've had in like 4 or 5 days. So I feel pretty good today. I'm sorry you feel tired. Where am I saving this? This is a Frodo and Sam comic. Have you guys read Lord of the Rings? Or at least watched the movies? Sort of green in the foreground. Oh, that's a paintbrush. Josie on Ball, welcome. I'm resizing my windows so that I can... I have my reference image and I have chat. Yavolem Hratsku, welcome. Okay. I don't know how super detailed I want to make the background, but I do want to make this a pretty comic, you know? Let's see, it's sort of like, trees sort of come up like that, and then... there's some more kind of over here. And then go darker. There's more forest on the left side. Just call it left forest, I guess. And it sort of comes down like this. I'm gonna have to make this a stylized forest because I don't want to draw a lot of individual trees. Alright, now I need to do mountains in the background. It's gonna be difficult, actually. I need to pull everything down a bit. Well, I can already tell this is going to be a super detailed comic. Damn it. You're listening to the They Might Be Giants podcast right now? I've heard of that. What is that? I've never actually listened to that podcast, but I've definitely heard of it. Doing different colors for the mountains in the background just so I know that they're sort of distinct units, you know? Mountains are really hard to draw, I think. But when you get them right, they look really, really cool. Oh, I'm doing 4 pixels. I should have been doing 3. Oh well. And then... this is the, sort of the last layer of mountains in the background, I think. I'm doing over here. Oh, maybe not. this one again. Oops. Yeah, okay, that's the right color. This peak is kind of craggly. I'm gonna go back to this one, and... Okay. So those are the layers. And I'll add more detail into them, but now I can add the characters. So I'm gonna do Ukraine, and... so Ukraine is gonna be Sam. And Frodo is either going to be Poland or the EU. So I've done a couple of Lord of the Rings comics. Here, let me pull them up, because I don't think everybody's seen them. Official Moth, welcome. I've done 2 or 3 Lord of the Rings comics. And I was struck by inspiration yesterday. There are a lot of coffee grinds in this coffee. Something must be wrong with my machine. That's not good. Lord of the Rings. The Mountain Pass, that's one of them. Where is it? Is that what I called it? The Mountain Pass? Here. Here's one. These were my first high-effort comics in Polandball 10 plus years ago. There's this one, and then one I reposted on Thursday. The Day the Strength of Men Failed. Here. So this is when the Fellowship is crossing through the mountains. Have you walked into Lord of the Rings Polandball comic? You have. Hopefully you like it. This was the first high-effort comic I made. And I basically just traced over some stills from the movie. So the US is Aragorn, the EU is Frodo, and then Poland as the Ring. Russia is Boromir. Whoops. Okay. A strange fate that we should suffer in so much fear and doubt over so small a thing. Such a little thing. Russia. Give Poland back to Europe. As you wish. I am not carrying this. So this was my first high-effort comic. And you can tell it's still kind of rough. This one was my... I don't think this is my second high-effort comic, but this is my second Lord of the Rings comic. And it's definitely better. The art is better. Like you see Sauron's mace here. There's a good amount of detail on that. Then I forget the name of the sword that Isildur uses to... cut off Sauron's hand. Something Sil, right? Narsil or something? Watching this at a farmer's market, right on. Oops. This was a cool comic. I had a lot of fun drawing this. I remember drawing the layers. This is, I think, the first time I sort of used transparent layers to sort of create like the heat emanating from the lava. So that was cool. Bio, love how I start streaming just as you're going to bed. Have fun. Thanks for tuning in, even if it's only for a minute. It's strange since Polandball has a global appeal. There's no like one good time to stream, but it's great that the VOD still exists for people to watch. All right, so I think so. In my mind, when I was imagining this is the scene. If you guys remember in the movie, in Fellowship of the Ring, there's a scene where Frodo and Sam are leaving the Shire, And then they stop in a field of wheat, and Sam says, "If I take one step farther, this will be, or if I take one more step, this will be the farthest I've ever been from home." And it's sort of like a bittersweet moment. So I'm doing that here with Ukraine as Sam, and I don't want to give away too much of the idea here, but I don't want because I don't want someone else to steal this idea because I think it's good. It's a very wholesome comic. So this is the first shot. They're like walking through a field of grass. And I should put some flowers in the foreground. Yesterday you were arguing with a guy who said Hitler was an Allied puppet. What? And Vita, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Alright, let's draw. So they're sort of over here, the countries. So we'll draw Ukraine. That's a good ball. Wow. Okay. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. I draw a great ball on like my second try. Fantastic. Oops. You just need to clean it up. I guess I didn't need to clean it. Huh. Okay. That's good. Actually, I don't like how it's so abrupt here into the straight part. Okay. So that's Ukraine. And he should be over here-ish. No, over here. And then... I don't know if this should be the... I don't know if Frodo should be the EU or Poland. Draw Switzerland in the background, because yes. That should be New Zealand somewhere, right? Because that's where they film the movies. Wow, I am on fire! My ball drawing today is amazing. Now I need to give them backpacks. Lord of the Rings, Polandball sounds like a great acronym. Oh, LOTRPB sounds like a great acronym. True. I love Lord of the Rings. Okay. Or maybe I should just finish, like, the storyboard, you know? Here, I'm gonna group this. This will be panel 1. Okay, now I need to fast forward. I have the clip open from the movie. Okay. So the next panel, they're in the field of wheat. Right, there's a scarecrow behind them. I need to open the window, it's hot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the storyboard, and then like in subsequent streams I can add more detail. I might work on this off stream too, just because I think this is a really good idea. Oops. So that's panel 1. Actually, no, I need to make yeah, we'll keep it at that. Alright. Wheat, there's a hedge. Wheat is going to be hard to draw. Let's see, it's about like 55% of the way through the panel. The wheat. And then we'll have a green hedge. sort of comes down like this. More over to the left. Yeah, if you guys haven't read Lord of the Rings, you should read it. It's not just because like it's cool, but because it's one of the seminal works of English literature. It's a little bit dated, I think. You know, he wrote them in the 50s, I think. So the language is a little bit antiquated compared to modern literature. I mean, it is still modern literature, right? But compared to, like, you know, something that was written like 10 years ago or today. But the writing is still impeccable. It's one of the best things I've ever read. So there's a hill there. Let's put it behind the hedge. Tree line behind the hills. It should be darker. We got some over here. This is just very rough storyboarding that I'm doing right now. Trying to draw these trees in kind of a new way that I've not done before. Because these are background trees, so they don't need a lot of detail, right? Because they're far away. But enough to, like, kind of look like a tree, you know? Like, I think that's not bad. It's like, if you look at it individually, it's not great. But as a background piece, I think it looks fine. Polandball is a community that interacts with each other by comics. It's a modern masterpiece. I've always... Like, I've been a part of a lot of different internet communities throughout my life. Polandball is, I think, the most interesting one because you have a lot of people from all over the world that have similar interests that you wouldn't necessarily meet in another capacity, like, you know, a gaming clan or something, or a WoW guild or something like that, right? It's like a broader interest than like playing a video game together or like a, I don't know, like a music group or something like that. Okay, let's draw EU, Ukraine, and then we'll have the Scarecrow. Who should be the Scarecrow? Oh, whoops, okay. EU, how big should the EU be? Pretty big. Okay. They take up most of the screen in this panel. Let's see. I'm gonna have the wheat field is like half the panel, so I need to make this a little bit bigger. That's a okay ball, but no, I'll try again. That's a pretty good ball. Yeah, my ball drawing has been pretty good. I'm happy with it today. So this is the EU, and then we'll do Ukraine behind it. Your PC said something about temperatures failing. Temperatures falling. Oh, well, that's good then. You don't want your PC to overheat. I had a computer that overheated. I'm trying to remember what the circumstances were, but it kept shutting off, and I couldn't figure it out. And I think what happened... Oh, yeah, okay. So what happened was I had a PC, and I took it apart to clean it, a desktop PC. And then I put it back together, I put it back in, and it kept overheating, and I couldn't figure out why. Like, the fan was on top of the CPU and whatever. And it took, like, an hour or something for me to figure out, like, oh, maybe it's the thermal paste. I should have figured it out earlier. But I had took it apart, and I guess I had cleaned the old thermal paste off of the CPU, but I forgot to apply new thermal paste onto it, so there was no cooling mechanism on top of the actual CPU. So it probably did some damage. Alright, Ukraine will do slightly smaller. So, like, if I want to be consistent with the other two Lord of the Rings comics that I'm making, then Frodo has to be the EU. But I think it's funnier in this scene if it's Poland and Ukraine. Just because of, like, the friendship dynamic that exists, right? Like, there's been no country that's been a bigger sort of ally to Ukraine than Poland. Pretty good ball. I like it. I also want to experiment with, like, a different kind of art style. Like, I want, I don't know how to describe it, but instead of having, like, a black outline on all of the objects and the balls or whatever, like, completely enclose the object, I kind of want it to break up a bit, you know? Sort of like, there's like a light white streak or whatever through some of the outlines, you know? I don't know. Can you make this Scarecrow Belarus like a spy ball? That could work. Ukraine and Polish relations are decreasing. They probably aren't the best of friends now. I think it's it's mostly the agricultural disputes, right? Polish farmers are justifiably upset that they can't compete with Ukrainian grain exports. But I mean, beyond that, Poland has done more for Ukraine than just about any other country. It's taken in more Ukrainian refugees than any other country by, like, a huge margin, like over 1 million, and it's donated a ton of weapons and money, and it's been relatively, it's been like one of its biggest proponents in the EU. So, opinions on chat and its current state and its concerning messages. I don't know. Sometimes you guys are, like, role-playing or something in the chat. I don't really know what's going on. But if you guys are having fun and I don't... Like, if what I'm saying doesn't matter and you guys are still having fun in chat, then that's still great, you know? You're going to make a comic on a fictional Russian news that goes about the war in Ukraine, and then it goes to the elections, which citizens are sabotaging it, and Putin blames Ukraine. There's a comic idea there. Yeah, the presidential elections are going on in Russia right now, and they're a total fucking sham. But the whole point of elections in Russia, everyone knows that they're fake, right? They're not real. They're not competitive. The whole point is to basically reinforce to the population that you can't change anything. We're going to go through this song and dance. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's basically to break the people's spirit. It's really, really dark. Best user in Polandball? Ooh. That's a great question. I mentioned this a couple days ago. I think my favorite artist right now is What Is Grass Even? He puts out a ton of really, really gorgeous comics. And they're usually funny, too. We've done a number of surveys in the Polandball subreddit through the years to sort of see like what people like in comics. And by far, the #1 element that people want to see in comics is humor. It's not like high art or anything like that. You know, like that's also really reassuring to me, because the thing that I think that's so charming about Polandball is that because they're shitty cartoons drawn in MS Paint, or have to look like they're drawn in MS Paint, there's a very low barrier to entry. So you get all sorts of people who have good ideas but might not necessarily be good at drawing can make a fantastic comic. Chat is literal chaos. What are you guys doing? What Is Grass Even has to be one of the best art styles. Tangowl is great too. Yeah, agreed. I think I have to do 3 different backgrounds. This is going to be a long comic for such a simple... It's not so much a joke as this is an adaptation. Shitting with Red Halo. What? You referred to his art style for drawing top hats? Alright, Scarecrow. Scarecrow, I don't know what it's going to be yet. I think Belarus kind of makes sense, but like, in this context, Belarus sort of deserves more to be like Saruman or something, you know? Maybe not even Saruman. Because Belarus isn't important, you know? It's a pretty good ball. So I'm noticing now, actually, that my balls are better when I make them thicker. I don't know why I've never noticed that before. If I use a thicker outline, the balls come out better. Whoops. Where'd it go? Chat is doomed. I don't know. You guys are having fun and you're not like bullying people. I don't care what you're doing, you know? I need to draw for the next Polandball news as well. Wild of Oscar shows that art doesn't matter, but humor definitely does. Not gonna lie, just to me, his comics are more low effort yet are still funny. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Oscar makes some of the best comics, and I love that they're not super detailed. I love that they're low art. Absolutely love his comics. The Boeing 737 MAX comic that he did was great. Where is that? I'm not gonna show it because I don't have permission from him. I haven't asked. But I saw it earlier this week. Where is it? Just go to his user profile. But yeah, when you do low effort comics, you can pump out a lot more. Oh, worst fear of flying, that's it. Boeing 737 MAX. Alright. Scarecrow. We'll give the Scarecrow a hat. Alright, let's put eyes on Europe and Ukraine. I'm gonna do more ovular eyes. I said I was gonna do that. And I want to go to the coffee shop and read. I've been working on a novel called Blind Sight by Peter Watts, Canadian sci-fi author, and I'm like 45% of the way through, and I do want to finish it, just because there's other stuff that I want to read. And I like it so far, but it's got, I think I've complained about it before, there's a lot of technobabble in it that's just not necessary, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Star Trek, but Star Trek is sort of like infamous for having a lot of technobabble, like a lot of technical sounding words that are supposed to intimidate you and make it sound like these people are talking in a manner that makes them seem competent, but it's just a bunch of nonsense. It's like not real shit, you know? Like, one of the ones that people always make fun of is, we're gonna polarize the, we're gonna reverse the polarity of the deflector shield to produce a tachyon beam. And like, that's how they solve every issue. Okay, those eyes are okay. Make them white. Let's do Ukraine eyes. You're sending a request to the Kingdom of Kolaya to help stabilize chat. Need an intervention force. Keyboard ASMR in the background. You're welcome. Do you guys like ovular eyes or circular eyes on your balls? I want to say in early Polandball, comics had more ovular eyes, and then I think now they're more circular. And I've always done circular ones, but I think the ovular eyes really sort of give that nostalgic feel from the earliest days of Polandball. That's not a good eye. You like oval eyes? Both? Both are preferred? You do both? Okay. Yeah. That's one of the things I love about art, is that you can just do whatever you want, you know? If you don't like the way that you're doing something, or you want to change it up, you can just change it up. There's no one that says that you can't do it, unless they're Polandball mods. Dick Rhino will show up at your house and destroy your computer because you use line tool. Don't use line tool. Yeah, I love art. That's not a good eye. Good eye, mate. Let me just duplicate this, see what it looks like. That's okay. Then I like putting the eyes lower on the ball. EU eyes probably down. I think EU, I might have made the EU a little bit too thin. Squircles are a mix of square and circle, and it's beautiful. Squircle. What, something like this? Exotic, you like oval eyes better? Dick Rhino's in the same country as you. Find your IP if you use line tool. Swedish Defense Force. I've never been to Sweden. I would like to go to Sweden at some point. Search it. Squircle. Oh, yeah, okay. Shape intermediate between a square and a circle. And do Scarecrow eyes. Go to 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with ovular eyes for this comic. Who do you guys think the Scarecrow should be, other than Belarus? It's a Scarecrow overlooking Frodo and Sam as they're leaving the Shire. And Frodo and Sam are the EU and Ukraine. So, what country would make sense to be a Scarecrow? You know, to like scare scarecrows from ruining European farms or something. What's the comic about? This comic is a scene from The Fellowship of the Ring where, you know, Frodo and Sam have set off on their journey to go to, what's the town called? Where they're supposed to meet Gandalf. God, what is it called? Bree. They're heading to Bree. And they're walking through one of the farmer's fields. It's a wheat field. And then Sam stops in front of the Scarecrow and he says, if I take one step more, it'll be the farthest I've ever been from home. And then Frodo comes back, comforts him, and then encourages him to keep going. It's a very wholesome scene. And that's why I wanted to do Ukraine and the EU here. No, not Rivendell. So originally they're supposed to... Gandalf tells them to meet him in Bree. And then they go to Bree. And Gandalf's not there, right? Because he's in Isengard. Being held captive by Saruman. You remember that part? Don't remember the town? Yeah. It's also hard because I've read the books twice, but as a kid. And maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I tried to reread them again. I have like a pocket version of Lord of the Rings, so they're very small, and the text is really, really tiny, the font. So it kind of strained my eyes. So I got like maybe a third of the way through Fellowship before I just stopped. I should reread it. So most of my like lore knowledge of Lord of the Rings is really from the films, which are not... they're substantially different from the book. Like in Fellowship, there's a couple of big things that are missing in the book. One of them is the Barrow-wights. Just after, or just before, I think they make it to Rivendell or Weathertop or something. That's one of the big scenes that I wish that they had put in the book or in the movie. And then the other one is Tom Bombadil, who's a major character in the first book. And a lot of people suspect that Tom Bombadil's character is basically a stand-in for Iluvatar, or Eru Iluvatar, which is basically like the god of Lord of the Rings universe. Because he's like the only character who's never tempted by the ring, and he seems to have like godlike powers, and he doesn't really care about what's happening on Middle-earth. So he sort of fits the mold of like an uncaring kind of god, you know? Or rather, a god that doesn't get super involved in mortal affairs, as it were. But yeah, so I'm just storyboarding right now, sort of figuring out where the characters go, what the background looks like. But I can draw the actual characters, and that'll make it start to come together. And then the background I can do later. Here. I'm going to pull this up to get the colors. Actually, let's do Ukraine first. I love the Ukrainian flag. It's a very simple, very gorgeous flag. And I like that it's based on you know, traditional Ukrainian landscape, right? You've got the wheat fields and where's Ukraine eyes? The blue sky, right? Like Estonia and Ukraine have great flags based on their landscapes. And I'll draw backpacks for them, like the adventurer type backpacks, you know? Let's actually fix that eye. No, actually it's fine. Okay, Ukraine. Ukraine eyes. Let's do the EU. I also love the European flag. I have a EU flag in my bedroom. I think it's a gorgeous flag. Or, not EU flag, it's the flag of Europe. It's used by the Council of Europe and the European Union. It was first used by the Council of Europe, not the EU. NATO, welcome. Ama, Esti. And Vita, one question. Shoot. Am I ever going to do the Whiskey War? You said that I would on the third one of these that I ever did, but never happened. There's a lot of things that I'd like to do. But, you know, I'm going to be streaming indefinitely, so maybe I'll get to it at some point. But I think the Whiskey War is something that's been covered by a lot of comics, by a lot of authors over the year. When was the Christmas image made? This must have been 2013 or early 2014. Just based on the characterizations of, you know, Russia and Ukraine. This must have been before the annexation, Russian annexation of Crimea. So I think this was 2013, maybe. And this was a collaboration between myself and Mo4, who was a Polandball mod and a pretty prolific Polandball artist. I don't think he's really involved with the community anymore. But the two of us made this comic. We forgot to decorate the tree. I remember I drew Russia, France, Germany, the EU, and Ukraine, and then he added, I think that's supposed to be Romania and Bulgaria. And then he added he did the fire, he did a bunch of the gifts. I really like how he did the fireplace, actually. It's really clever. I like the little hat that Bulgaria is wearing. It's cute. What are my thoughts on India's flag? I like India's flag. I would say it's probably like a solid high B tier. It's not like the most original, but it's a tricolor, right? And tricolors are just inherently like a good design because they're simple, they're memorable, right? And then it has the chakra in the middle to sort of you know, tie it to its own culture and make it distinguishable. But it's good. The Indian flag is one of like the instantly recognizable flags. But I feel like India is one of those countries, they could have any flag and everyone would remember it just because India is such an important and big country that everyone would just know it, right? Greetings from Norway. Hello. I've not been to Norway either. I would like to go to Norway. Oops. Ooh, a reverse EU. That's kind of cool. Stars on the EU flag. There's 12 stars. One of the questions people often ask about the European flag is, why are there 12 stars on it? Does it represent the number of states that were in the EU at any point? The answer is no, it doesn't. 12, for whatever reason, is a number that has been associated with perfection and unity since, like, biblical times. So when they were designing the European flag for the Council of Europe, they decided upon 12 Stars. There was only one point in the EU's history where there were 12 members. I think it was... it was after Greece joined. So the original 6 members of the EU's preceding organization, the European Coal and Steel Community, was France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Those are the original 6 members. The next 3 members that were added were Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Denmark. That brought them to 9. And then Spain and Portugal joined. That brought them to 11. And then Greece joined in 1981 or 1983, making it 12. And that was, I think, the last enlargement until Eastern Germany was reunited with West Germany. But that didn't expand the number of states, just expanded the territory and population and GDP. I think the next expansion was 1995, when Sweden and Finland joined. Norway also applied to join, but it was defeated in a public referendum. The Scarecrow is Albania because of the irony of a bird on the flag. The crows are attacking him, ironically, because scarecrows are supposed to scare crows. That is a good idea, actually. I do like that. Socialist Mango Tree, welcome. Have I gone to India? I have never been to India. My dad went to India, like, 8 years ago. He really liked it. But I wasn't able to join him, because I was, I think was it 8 years ago or 10 years ago? I think I was in college at the time or something. And he was going on a business trip. I would like to go to India. Alright, let's do some more of these stars. Whoa, too much yellow. Yeah, the EU, the European flag is a great flag design. It's simple, it's instantly recognizable, and it's very unique. There aren't a lot of flags that kind of look like this, you know? It's not a tricolor. It does have stars, you know? A lot of flags have stars, but it's too small. Maybe I fix the top star. But I like that it's not red, white, and blue. You know, there's so many flags that are red, white, and blue, and it's kind of, you know, be more original. But the EU flag is better, I think, than most of the member states' national flags. I'm still not convinced that this should be Europe, actually. I kind of want it to be Poland. This is a cool song. Hold on, I need to look this up. Add this to my Spotify. Getaway Car. Getaway Car is a song by Taylor Swift. That's not it. I'll have to look it up. It doesn't give me the artist's name. The urge to just put Poland in a comic for some reason. Well, it makes sense, right? Like, Sam and Frodo are friends, right? And so, like, for this comic to work, Ukraine has to be Sam. This is not the best European flag I've made. I ended up getting Mexican food last night, and there was a ton of it, so I still have a ton of leftovers. We eat good. This is okay. I might come back and fix it. I don't know whether or not I want to make, like... If I should draw the EU with, like, the stars all around the eyes instead of being sort of partially covered by the eyes. Could I make a comic of an average Balkan Christmas? What is that? Just like Serbia ethnically cleansing his neighbors or something? Here's the link to the song I was asking. Alright, I like Albania as the Scarecrow. I think that's kind of cool. Pull it up. I don't think I've ever drawn Albania in a comic. Scarecrow. Okay. Whoops. Something kind of like that. Okay. Draw this two-headed chicken. Whoops. Albania's got a sick flag. I love it. This is such a cool flag. Big fan. Hard to do the beak. Oh, I drew it on the actual layer? Shit. Where is it? Layer 3. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Give him a scarecrow hat. We're doing profile picture drawing this stream? Probably not. The comic I drew on stream got featured by Drew Durnall. Yeah, someone mentioned that last night. He still has never asked me for permission to use my comics. Big news. Two-headed chicken. Beware the anti-Albanian behavior. Yeah, he steals comics. Yeah, I mean, it's like the idea that, like, even if you credit the author, like, you're still making money off of their comic. You didn't do anything. It's like React content, when you don't have the express permission from somebody, it's effectively, I think, just stealing content. Oh, the big news was what I just read? Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's featured a number of my comics over the years. Don't appreciate it, but... It's like, I don't have a problem with people, like, sharing my comics, because obviously you can't control that, right? When you, you know, like, when I post a comic or whatever, like my, the Palestine comic I made, like the food aid one, that got, like, 2 million views or something. Like, there's no way that, like, you can control how many, like, who uses it for what purpose, right? But, like, or rather, who shares it. Let's see. 1.5 million views. That's pretty cool. Bio's comics were also stolen. Yeah, I mean, he's stolen, like, a ton of comics. It's, like, it's a pretty shitty thing to do. Because he's making money off of somebody else's work, right? Which, you know, I guess is, you know, that's capitalism, but... The amount of effort that goes into drawing a comic is a lot higher than the amount of effort it takes to put them on your YouTube video and just react to them. They're like, oh wow, Poland does another crazy thing. That's so funny, haha. It'd be one thing if he actually drew comics, but he doesn't, as far as I'm aware. What if he finds Country Sticks? God help us if Country Sticks ever becomes mainstream. He is the main force of attraction of Polandball. That's a hard disagree for me. I think the Polandball subreddit has always been the main driver of Polandball and Country Ball content. Everything that has come sort of afterwards has ridden on its coattails. So, you know, he might have more subscribers than the Polandball subreddit does, but the Polandball subreddit is still the creative engine of the Country Ball community. It always has been. It's because that's where you get all of the other artists sort of posting their comics. It's where you get the most original content. So it's easy to just, like, take all of that stuff and present it as if it's your own, or maybe not as if it's your own, but present it as sort of new to a different audience, right? But it's not, you know? I'm going to redraw those stars at some point, I think. And so the next panel will be basically the same, but the EU is sort of moving off screen a little bit. But the background will be the same. I have to make this canvas bigger. Just make it 3200, double it in size. But I do like how this is turning out already. So you need to do a little bit more storyboarding. What's my favorite comic that I've made? I've got a few. There's one that I feel like deserved a lot more. Well, hold on. Actually, there's two comics that I feel like deserve to be way more popular than they ended up being. Let me see if I can find them. Continental Drift. I've reposted this one a few times. I think this is one of my best comics. So this is India and Bhutan. India, could you maybe please be stopping the pushings into Asia? I am too many mountains already. Lol, no. India, please. You're really pushing my Bhutans. So this was just a simple pun comic. But I think it's great. It's like, it's a geography joke. It's a geology joke. It's a pun. And it features countries that don't get featured a lot in Polandball. I mean, India gets a fair amount of screen time. But Bhutan does not. I always thought, like, this was never as popular as I thought it deserved to be. Especially because I spent a lot of time on those mountains. Bhutan's also got a sweet flag, yeah. But, yeah, I always felt this deserved to be more popular than it was. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's one of my favorites. I have a similar one that is popular. I think it's probably the most clever... Here. This is the most clever comic I've ever made. So this is Central African Republic, car. Many Africans go to rich country and drive taxi, but is do not enjoy. But wait, I am think, why drive when can be? They am say if you is do what you is love, then you is never be work a day in life. I am love my job. Beep beep, I am car. So, Central African Republic, since the acronym is CAR, often gets drawn with wheels. It doesn't have to be drawn with wheels, but it's not a country that gets featured often. So when people do feature it, they usually draw it with wheels just because the joke will revolve around car being a car. The reason why I love this comic is because of the title. The title is Coupé d'État, which is a triple entendre, which makes it super clever, right? Coupé d'État. Well, there's a couple elements today, all right? A coupe is a kind of car, right? Or is it pronounced coupe or coupe? I think it's a coupe. A coupe is a kind of car, right? So that's one layer. Coupé d'État literally means car of state, right? And it's in French, and this is a French-speaking country. That's the second layer here, right? Because literally, car is literally a car here. The third is that Coupé d'État is also a pun for coup d'etat, right? And a coup d'etat is, an overthrow of a government, which is something that's happened a lot in car. And the fact that it's in French is kind of like the fourth layer, but not quite. So it's a very, very, very creative title. I think this is the best title I've ever had for a comic, and it's not even close. Coupé d'État. Because, like, a triple entendre is really, really hard to do. But this was fairly popular. I think this was a comic contest. I don't know if I won with this one. Was it a comic contest? Yeah, I think this was a comic contest for Lesser Known September. Every September, the subreddit does a lesser known countries theme. So for the month of September, they basically ban the use of popular countries in comics. So you can't draw things like the US, China, Germany, France, UK. And you have to, it's basically you're limited to mostly South American and African countries. Obama giving medal to himself picture. True. So I really like this one. There's one that I want to redraw, which I think is a very good comic. Oh, this one's funny. This is not accurate. The planes are not accurate. I just wanted to draw like an F-15 and an F-16. Russia has sent fighters for rape air border. We must be haste if to be interception. France should be in a Rafale. I drew an F-15. I don't know why. And then I put Poland in an experimental F-16 XL or something. And this was like 10 or 12 years ago. When there were a bunch of stories coming out about how like the German armed forces doesn't have like any equipment, and like they were practicing with brooms instead of rifles. So instead of him being in a plane, he's in a cardboard box with a fan in front of him. I thought this was funny. What else? Democracy-O's. Here it is. This is one of my two favorite comics, if I had to choose two. This has been like reproduced by other artists. I've seen animations of this on YouTube. Democracy-O strengthens your democracy. Open up, here comes the plane. No. Alright, you little shit, let's try this again. No, no, no! Here comes the plane. It's the Enola Gay. So if you guys don't know, the Enola Gay is the B-29 that dropped the first nuclear bomb on Hiroshima. Atomic bomb. I thought this was a funny comic. I want to reproduce this, just because I want to make the Enola Gay more detailed. I think the second and third panel are fine, but the Enola Gay was kind of rushed. You can see like the third pylon here, or rather the third nacelle on the left is not great. I think this was a comic contest entry that won. But yeah, perfect punchline. Agreed. And then also, I want the propellers to show motion. So I will probably redraw this on stream, this last panel, and then repost it. I also, you know, this is one of the things that bothers artists is like when you go back and you look at your work, you realize there are things that you could have done differently. The first panel is entirely superfluous. And this is one of the things that really bugs me about not just comics, but all media, is unnecessary content. Superfluous content, right? The first panel adds absolutely nothing to the story. It is absolutely not necessary, right? So if I were to do this comic again, it would just be this. Panels 2 through 4. First panel is just, it doesn't serve a purpose. You know? Like, it adds a little bit of flavor, but it's not, it doesn't advance the plot in any way. It's just not necessary, right? Like, these 3 panels alone are a perfect standalone comic. Let me find probably my favorite comic. This is certainly one of the most popular comics early on, if I can find it. What is this? First panel might be unnecessary to the story, but kind of functions as a title. Yes, that's true. But the title I could just change to something else. Like, it still kind of makes sense. Like, it advances the plot in the sense that, like, oh, he's feeding cereal or whatever, or baby food to Japan. But you don't really need to know, like, what it's called or see the box or anything like it. But, yeah, I mean, I think this is a great comic. This is the kind of punchline that you should aim for in comics. This is a good comic. This was probably my most feel-good comic. This was one of the most popular comics very early on in Polandball history. This was, I think, at one point the second most popular comic in the subreddit in like 2013. This is Canada Had a Rough Childhood. UK and France love each other. Canada's born as a result. UK and France hate each other. Canada's upset. His parents are yelling. Sees the US offering him ice cream. This is a really cute comic. Yeah, this was one of my most popular ones. This was sort of this has been reposted a ton over the internet as well. I've seen this a ton of times. But you can see this is one of my earlier comics because, like, look at how badly this is drawn. This US. It's not even stars, it's dots. And you can see from the pixelation or whatever on this ice cream cone. I just copied and pasted the other one and then I turned it instead of just drawing a new one. Also here on the top, the way that I would draw this now is I would center the flag's elements around the eyes instead of just drawing like the flag in the middle of the ball and then putting the eyes wherever. So the monocle would also be filled in with blue, and I'd have a lighter blue to show glare. The top hat I'd put a little bit more effort into, but top hats I've never been good at. So yeah, this is a good comic. Yeah, it has a completely different art style. Yep. That's one of the cool things, is like I can go back and see a timeline of all of my my comics and see like how my art improved or changed over the years. Here's another early comic. Close these. Why can't I close this? Oh. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We're more alike than you care to admit, son. Shut up, I'm nothing like you. This is a comic that I think if I redrew it in like a more modern art style, would do very well in the subreddit. It's just a very standard Anglo-imperialism joke. Have I ever done a comic with Sao Tome and Principe? I have not. I don't think so. Yeah, dots of stars is a rule break today. Yep, that's how you can tell that it's a very early comic. Early Polandball, we did not have strict rules. Here, I'll show you the very first comic contest on the subreddit was a template. It was your country, your country's brother, father, ancestor, natural enemy, friendly rival, best friend, and former enemy. There's a ton of rule breaking here. 1, we'll start here. My country, USA. The red stripes are overlapping the black outline, which is verbatim, sorry. And then the stars I drew as dots, which you can't do. Canada, you can also see the red spills over the black outline a bit. The maple leaf is also really half-baked, but this is generally okay. This was copied and pasted from another comic, somebody else's comic, an unknown artist. And you can see it's kind of, the image quality is not good. It's also missing the St. Patrick's Cross or whatever to represent Ireland. Ancestor, this is supposed to be Jesus, and it has hair on it, right? Can't draw hair on a ball. Natural enemy, this is fine. Russia. Friendly rival, America rivals, this is fine. That's part of the joke. Best friend, this is supposed to be McDonald's. Can't do that. Can't do corporate ball. Then former current enemy, I put Earth. This was okay. This is early Planet Ball. I think before Planet Ball was even a thing. This looks like an r/countryballs _ comics post. Yeah, this is from the very first comic contest. This was my entry. Dick Rhino won that one, I believe. Are we the official Polandball channel? We are. We are the YouTube channel that represents r/Polandball, which is the main creative outlet for Polandball content. It's where it got popularized. It's been around for 11, 12 years, something like that. The people who work on the channel, myself, Aaron C14, and Dick Rhino in particular, have been producing country ball / Polandball content longer than probably anyone you're going to find on the internet. We're not the original authors of Polandball, but we were the ones who were basically responsible for popularizing it. We've been making comics since like 2012. 2013, something like that. Show my approval comic. So that's another thing that you can tell that I'm an old timer. I never had to make an approval comic because I'm one of the oldest users on Polandball, particularly one of the oldest users that's still active. I think Dick Rhino, Aaron, and myself are probably the oldest active users. Yeah, 8 people currently manage this channel. So we did not have an approval process until after I was already making and posting comics on the subreddit. So I got grandfathered in. You're Spanish and seeing Spain dead makes you sad? I'm sorry. Let's see, show me one of my comics. Oh, I always like this one. This is Great National Triumphs. U.S. landing on the moon. Britain standing alone against Nazi Germany. 1830 French Revolution. Just supposed to represent the revolutionary spirit of France, right? And Poland cleaning a really dirty toilet. It's sad that this channel is kind of underrated. It's still a new channel. We've only been around since like October. Mr. Finlandia, can I draw your profile picture? Let me add you to the list. Do I not already have you? I haven't drawn profile pictures in a while. You got a r/Polandball comic with 3K upvotes. Nice. How does Nepal move around using his mouth as legs? I kind of imagine that he sort of just like distorts himself and like inches forward, kind of like a worm, if that makes sense. This, you can also tell this is early because I don't have the seal on Spain's flag. You would have to draw that to be approved. But this is a comic that would do well today if I just clean it up, make it... If I were to redraw this. Let's see what else do I have that I can show you guys. Israel Cube just vibrates to move. I imagine Israel can just like rematerialize in different places because it exists in 4 dimensions. What is this? Wow, okay, this is an old comic too. Brief Sino-American relations. Yeah, the People's Republic of China, Republic of China, 1949, 1955. No. What are you doing? China's getting bigger. Stop. I'll be right back, Taiwan. Make me cheap stuff? Yes, we intertrade now. Shit. Feels like a grandpa telling his stories of the Vietnam War or something. True. When am I gonna draw profile pictures? I don't know. You think Nepal moves by closing his mouth, opening it quickly, bouncing him up? How does Singapore move? I imagine these countries sort of just like squish and move like worms. This is an old comic. Here's a relevant comic. This is from 10 plus years ago. You guys need to spend more on defense. I can't do everything. 9. No. No. Ungrateful assholes. After everything I've done for you. You guys need to spend more on defense. I can't do everything. Okay, okay. Ungrateful assholes. After every... Wait, what? We will increasing spendings of defense, America-san. You're on your own. Fuck you. Privyet. Very foreboding. Prescient, almost. This must have been from 2013, 2014. So there was about a decade ago, there were a bunch of stories about how, I mean, this has been going on for a long time. The U.S. has been trying to get its allies to spend more on defense because it can't do everything. And it was basically impossible to get European states to ever do it. And then Japan and Korea did increase their defense spending significantly about 10 years ago because of U.S. pressure, because of China's rise. So they actually increased defense spending since they had a more pressing security issue facing them 10 years ago. So the idea of the U.S. sort of pulling out of Europe means that Russia moves in. And that's exactly what's happening now. But fortunately, European states are increasing defense spending. Why was Russia's flag color off in your early comics? The Russian flag changed in like 2014 or something. It had a lighter blue band. Not in 2014. In where is it? There have been two different versions of the Russian flag in post-Soviet Russian history. One has a darker, like the modern one that they use today is a darker blue, but like in the 90s there was like a lighter blue, and I think I might have just copied that and used that for my early comics. I'm trying to see when it was changed. Looks like 91 and 93 it used the light blue. So I was probably I just got it the incorrect one, and I used that for a while. Circle tool. No, there's no circle tool here. You kind of prefer the lighter Russian flag? So one of the things that I like, actually, is the... it's the dissident flag of Russia, where it just doesn't have the red band. So it's just white, blue, white. I think that goes hard. Here, I can draw it real quick. I think it'd be cool to do like a stream where I just draw a comic without really going back and fixing it. You know? Sort of like a one attempt to draw whatever I'm drawing. So if it looks bad, it looks bad. Let me find a... a little more modern... Here. Oh, this is a good comic too. I like this. Congratulations! Congratulazioni! Ein winner! The game show is Woo! For you, the grand prize is a ein too expensive paid trip up Poland. Pass. What the fuck is this shice? Who's passed that up? No undo challenge. Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Alright, let me do the lines behind Russia. So this is like one of the dissident flags that's used in Russia now. Which I think looks super cool. It's a tricolor that's just white, blue, white. It's just removing the red. I think this would be a great flag. A really cool flag. But, you know, not gonna happen while Putin's alive. Could I critique your approval comic? You really want to know how good of a joke it was? What's your what's the name of your comic? Let me go to the subreddit. Oh, it's called Bombs. Can I put it on stream? Is that all right? I think I found it. Yeah, let me know if I can put it on stream. If you don't want me to, that's fine. Of course? Okay, cool. I think it's... Is it this one? Where is it? I just downloaded it. I'm trying to find it. The folder is huge. This is it, right? Let's zoom in. This is well drawn. I like it. Mwahaha is of evil plan completings and puttings atomic atom bombs and hydrogen bombs on chitty poo poo kebab. Neighbor Pac-Man now. Best is most secretly made in Great Bharat. In the UN. Glorious Spherge. Why? You guys need to stop and quit goofing around and go. Someone's finally doing a sequel to my amazing work back in 1945. At least I'm not the only one always blamed. Ah! Oh crap. Of the nose. We too late. We too much late, best. Oh no, it's not real bomb. What, why are you here? I'm just burst crackers of mine. Let me celebrate mine Tyor of Diwali and scaring dumb kebab. Why name firecrackers like that? This is good. I like this. I really like a lot of the art here. This is very like early Polandball art. I like the transition period from the earliest Polandball to like more modern, where you have layering and shading and stuff like that. I really love this inset Poland with the phone. That's really cool. Like this is how I would draw the same thing, you know? And Vitha, can I critique your comic called Burnin' Up? Yeah, this is a good comic. I like this. Posted 7 days ago. I guess I hadn't seen it. Upvoted. Burnin' Up. I can't find it. I don't see it. Did you post it to the subreddit? Yeah, this is a great comic. This was your approval comic? This is really good for an approval comic too. Like your stuff is only going to get better too. Like if this is your baseline, you've got a future as a prolific artist. This is really good. Big fan. I like how you drew Belgium. Very cool. Yeah, if you guys ever want me to show your comics on stream, talk about them, I'm more than happy to, but of course only if you give me permission. Swedish security. Let me find it. One month ago. Wow, this is your approval comic? This is really well made. Let me into NATO. I don't know how to pronounce that in Hungarian. Hey? Well, why have not? Wells, don't you have seen? Sweet Curity. What is fucking going on in your clay? This is good. Turkish security camera. This is really well drawn. And I like the tiny little beady eyes. If you're posting links in the chat, I can't see them. I don't think you're allowed to post links in YouTube chat. HK Tito, your comment didn't get approved, sadly, because the quiz. Just gotta try again. Marble Steer, same thing. You want to post on Reddit, but you don't know any funny jokes? It doesn't have to be like... I don't know, like, sometimes you can just tell a story. You know, a comic doesn't have to be funny. It's just a comic is just the medium. He made a comic based off of a Tumblr post. Yeah. But this is really, really well done. If this is your first comic, this is really good. No, this isn't your first comic. Is it? You've drawn a ton of stuff. I see on your subreddit. You've done a lot in Polandball art. Oh, the France skiing and the Alps one I had seen. That was really good. Finland and Sweden out to sea. That's also really good. Yeah, I love your art style. Oh, yeah, I guess Swedish Security was your first traditional Polandball comic. Nicely done. And then I did see your Nihon art and Mandarin comic. Both of those are good. And Vita, no. If you're posting links in YouTube chat, I literally cannot see it. Just if you tell me the name of the comic, I should be able to find it. Cardi Rules, ahoy! I got sidetracked. Oh, I mean, I did a good amount of work on this. I'll probably do some off stream, like to do the background. But I think I am going to end stream there. I have other things that I need to do today. But thank you guys for joining. Another successful Saturday morning stream. So yeah, if you want me to show comics on stream, comics of yours on streams, let me know. Burning up here. Let me check that real quick. Burning up. That's what I looked for. I don't see it when I do a search, when I put it in there verbatim. But try and find it, and Vita, and I'll post it. Pyro, you have a question real quick? All right, shoot. Then I gotta get going. If you do post, would they allow you to do it on phone? I mean, you can post it from your phone, but you can draw. You should be drawing it on your computer. Can the comic panels be uneven? Yes, absolutely. Panels don't have to be standardized. Ibis Paint and digital pen. You shouldn't be drawing with a pen. You should be using a mouse. That's one of the rules. Yeah, comic panels can be uneven. Absolutely. You can be creative about what panels look like. You don't have to have panel outlines or anything like that, right? It's just another way you can be creative. You don't have a computer? I don't know how you would draw then. But, all right, I got to get going. Thank you guys again for joining. Drop a like on the stream or the VOD when it gets posted. More people can find the chat. And I will probably stream again tomorrow night. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great weekend.